Okay, folks, Rob back for another plays this week. Guess you could say something's in the water a bit because we've got another brand new Psytronik release. This is Eye of the Gods, originally developed by Retro Dreams and published by Psytronik in April 2016. I actually only found out about this one when I was pre-ordering Hessian, so yes, that's going to come eventually. Anyway, let us start up. Just the tape image loading. So the basic plot with this one is it's in the far future, of course, and humanity is not in a good place. A whole bunch of resources have been expended and, all of human society is on the verge of collapse. So as it turns out, there's rumours and stories of something called the Eye of the Gods. And you have been sent in to what they call the Cradle of Civilization and are tasked with retrieving it. So let's do this. So, you start off, and the basic idea is you need to locate the eye. To locate the eye, you also need to locate a whole bunch of power-ups, which means that in essence, this becomes a bit of a Metroid game, which, as far as I'm concerned, is all good with me. But it sort of starts off slow, and this is sort of where it starts getting frustrating. So if you look at your status panel on the bottom, you've got the bottom left, that 42 represents your health. The 25 next to that is your ammo. Then you've got, I don't know what the jewel is, I think that's for something else. I haven't got far enough to know. And then the icon at the space at the far right is which are the Orbs of Destiny. I've just grabbed the first one, which is Zeus's Lightning, which gives you the ability to shoot. And you can see you've got your ammo. So, it's really annoying, but I really don't like the fact you can't crouch. Because you've got this sort of double high character. You need to just be very careful as you move about. Anyway, so we've now gotten one power up, and as usual with these kinds of games, the power-ups you get will let you progress further. So now, we actually blast our way through things, and it's one of those things where the jumping is kind of ropey on this one, I have to admit. Bit of a shame. So, we'll see it much later. But this is something I really don't like. Which is the fact that you could get into a screen and be in a position where you can't avoid taking damage. I've never been a fan of that in game design. I feel like you always should be able to go through a sequence and not be, and you should only be hurt because you don't know the rules or you don't time it right. Once you sort of get used to the formula, it's sort of where mastery comes in. Something else I'm finding really annoying is the colouring of your lightning shots do not go good against the background here. Alright, so that's the second Orb of Destiny, Poseidon's Breath, which lets you breathe underwater, so that is where we have to go next. So you can sort of see there's a bit more of a linear flow here. I come to think of Knight and Grail, which is something I really do want to review eventually, but that game is just mammoth. So now we're underwater. Ooh. This does not look good on the TV, that's for sure. This is actually the first time I've played it on the 64 itself. I've just been too busy to really sit down and have a good play on hardware. I've been playing it on an emulator, and the pattern for the water is just a blue and black stippled pattern, and here, oh my, it looks a little wrong, which I'm not surprised because yay, PAL. I'm using a composite input on the telly, so it's not perfect. Anyway, through these jumps. Oh, whoa, yeah. And then you got your classic respawning, and this isn't good because I'm about to die. Hence the flashing in the status bar telling me that. Come on, give me some health power-ups. This is one thing I don't like this sort of, the progression's a bit slow in points, and as soon as you leave a room, and it's possible, it does that thing, oh, thank the maker, we need that. Full health restored, okay. But one thing is some of those jumps, like to make the jump in that previous room, you really need to, just be precise. Now, I can't go through there, so into the water again. Okay. But yeah, I'm just really not a fan of how you know, there's just the jumping here. But anyway, let's keep going. We've got to time it to avoid the orb because we can't go into that tunnel. There's actually another orb of destiny that we get later that lets us do that. Ooh. See, okay, these suckers come down from the roof, so let's avoid them. Double sats, fire. See, I don't like that because you could just, the patterns, the size of your sprite and the patterns just don't match. Okay, next orb. This is Ares Destruction. Now this one lets you plow through bricks, so it's these two to the left here. We can go through there and there. Well, they still use ammo, but it means that, you know, it unlocks, you know, the next sort of part of the game. Now, that's right. Now we go back to the start. This is where it gets interesting. Like any good Metroidvania sort of game, your exploration is subtle, and I guess, you know, it's sort of a compressed experience because it's only a single load, which is really convenient. I mean, it's no Nightingale, and for these kind of games, that is the standout on the C64. Nor is it Sacred Armor of Antiriad, which is of course a standout as well. Now let's keep going. I haven't made it all the way. I've gotten 4 of the 6 in my play so far. My best play, so I've made it a little further, so I kind of get lost. So you do kind of want to map it out. But I mean, the main controls are okay. I don't really find myself fighting them. I just find myself fighting the jumps. It's basically, you know, left, right, up, down. Oh, no down, because you can't crouch. So left, right to move, up to jump, fire to shoot. Now, we can't jump up there, can we? Nope, so we have to go down. Down. Okay, next sequence. Alright, let's keep going. Oh! I messed that one up. I mean, the graphics... Oh, I can't go up there because I can't reach it, so... I can't go down there, so let's go left. And back, we do have to go further. You can sort of see, you get the change of scenery, you get oases. It's look, I think this is an okay game as far as I know. Like, it didn't really have a lot of hype attached to it compared to other Psytronik releases of late. So I could be wrong. It's not. It's not the best of games. It's okay, and I think, you know, as you know, I would go to say, it's definitely one worth checking out, and I should really flip a link to Psytronik's site somewhere, because let's face it. Yeah, see, this is the problem I have with the jumps. To get over there to get the ammo, well, I don't really need it, so I really shouldn't bother. But you've got to just sort of almost jump off the platform, which, yeah, for most of these games, it's really annoying because, you know, one mistake, and you end up in a room you've been in with, you know, with enemies that you have to fight. You've got to deal with dwindling ammo, more dwindling ammo, 25, it's more health that's the problem now. Okay. I don't think the graphics are bad, I think they're alright, they're just a little... Alright, there's some health. So those big red spots that give us 5 points of health, and then the other spots that... Oh! Losing like 8 health to one of those is cheap. Cheap! Alright. I think that's where a lot of my frustration on this game comes from, is that, you know, you've only got a limited amount of health, and this game just can take it from you so fast. And I guess, you know, that might be... The problem is, I'm always going to compare to Metroid, because, let's face it, the NES, you know, isn't that much more powerful than the 64, and as far as I know, I think it just... I'd have to check, but I'm sure Metroid has just got a bank switchy cartridge, it doesn't have extra hardware, which is, you know, the magic NES, the NES magic. Okay, now I've got Hermes' boots, which is for better jumping. So hopefully we can get past some of those gaps we couldn't make before. Okay, ammo is always warranted. I think that's a full ammo spurt. Box 2, yay, but we also need some health. See, the jumps are frustrating. To me, I find the jumps frustrating because you've got to, like, look at this. There was no way to avoid that. I couldn't reach that bat to shoot it, right? This is to me is terrible game design. I couldn't reach the bat to shoot it, and there was no way I could move through without actually triggering it, because just it's a combination of things like the slow movement speed, your movement speed, your jump size. It's where the game's sort of a little bit more disappointing in my book, because let's face it, and even that, your jump cycle was still too long that you could end up being attacked. And for me personally, that's really where the disappointment lies. I mean, I'm not a fan of games where it feels like the game is like torturing you in a way. Because let's face it, in this case, next section, isn't it? Yeah. In this case, I feel like I didn't have control over it. It gets a little worse, but not far. Which is kind of the point where I got, see, look at that. Look at that jump. I should have made that. Instead, I've got to jump all the way off like that. And then, of course, because you're holding it down too much, you end up. See, now I've got to do, like, it's starting to get a little frustrating now because of these jumps. This is by far where the game is at its weakest for me, is these jumps. And these jump. I mean, to be fair, I believe this is the developer's first game because I've never seen his name come up elsewhere in C64 land. But you know what? That's perfectly fine. Like, you know, your first game's never going to be perfect. In fact, this is actually a pretty good effort for a first game. But there's just areas where it's like, I could see where this game could go from good to great, to like be utterly sublime. And regretfully, I don't know about you. It's what disappoints me the most is potential. Okay. Alright, dead end there, so we can, and of course, I love that. Like, I love that I can't crouch, so I've got to keep running. And it's all these little things that kind of frustrate me with the game design a bit. You know, I mean, I love the exploratory action. I love having that in a C64 game because it's always great. But at the same time, and I'm dead, aren't I? Yeah. Well, I think that's a pretty good shot of Eye of the Gods. Like I said, you can go grab it off Psytronik's website. The standard approach, £5 for a tape or a disc-only copy, or £13 for the Premium Plus packaging. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. Do leave some comments. You've got some thoughts on this one if you're going to go check it out. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.